Hello, YouTube family. This is Alpha Crawford with Finance Up. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing well, and thanks for the continued support. As you can see from the thumbnail, it says, "What a crypto ATM. Beware, seniors." So this video is specifically on helping my seniors be aware of these crypto ATM scams. Again, this is Alpha Tier with Finance Up. I am an assistant living administrator and an advocate for seniors. So this video specifically is to warn seniors and everyone else, but specifically seniors because they are the ones being targeted, to be aware of the crypto ATM scams. So in this video, I'm sharing with you two news clips of this ATM scam that is going on across the country. So I hope it helps at least one person. If it does help that one person, this video has been a success. So again, this is Alpha Tier Crawford with Finance Up. I hope that you enjoy the clips that I'm sharing in this video. As always, thanks for the continued support. And until the next video, you guys take care. And you know how we do here. Let's share the screen and let's go.
Tonight we have a warning for seniors and families. DC's Attorney General is suing a major Bitcoin ATM operator, claiming its machines have become a tool for scammers. Randy Yu spoke with a member of the AG's office to explain what these scams look like and how you can protect your loved ones.
What's the most common scenario that you're seeing with seniors and Bitcoin ATMs? How does the scam typically start?
Yeah, so the scam usually starts with a telephone call and someone impersonating either a bank or a government official, a tech company that you might know and trust, and telling the senior or the other victim that they need to put their money into one of these crypto ATMs in order to protect it or to help with the government investigation or whatever the lie that the scammer might be telling them might be.
So are there specific phrases or instructions that the scammers are using? For instance, we've heard from experts, that tell us about these scams that there's a lot of urgency in these scam calls. What are some tips that you can give us?
Yeah, that's right. Trying to build a sense of urgency is a critical thing that all of these scammers do. They tell you that you need to act right now, that your money's under threat, that your freedom is under threat, and that you have to act right now, and that you should not tell you shouldn't tell your friends or family. You should keep it a secret. You should just do what the scammer tells you. Go to one of these ATMs, deposit the money. The scammer generally wants to keep you on the phone the entire time, or will call you back repeatedly over and over and just keep the pressure building, keep you nervous so that you are not thinking like you normally would be able to.
Right. And why do scammers push victims to a crypto ATM instead of a bank or gift cards? What makes BTMs so attractive to the criminals?
The excellent thing about the BTMs and crypto generally for scammers is that once the money goes into the crypto wallet, it's basically deposited directly with the scammer. There's no intermediary. So if you go to one of these crypto ATMs and you put money into the scammer's wallet, immediately the scammer has all of that money. Gift cards were a popular and still are a popular way that scammers try to get your money, but the smoothness for the scammer of depositing the money right into these crypto ATMs and it coming right to the scammer immediately, it's just too attractive, and scammers are increasingly moving to this method to get the money out of the victim's wallet and into the scammer's wallet.
Okay, so if someone already sent Bitcoin, is there any realistic path to getting the money back?
The Bitcoin, once you transfer money to another Bitcoin wallet, there's no way for the money to be returned. That's something that the scammers really like. If it goes from one bank account to another bank account, the bank might be able to intervene and reverse that transaction. But with crypto, it doesn't work that way. So the second the money is transferred into that scammer's wallet, there's no way really for law enforcement to get that money back.
It's so heartbreaking to see the scammers prey on older adults, preying on the trust and confusion piece that you mentioned earlier. What are some real good tips for any of us to have, with caregivers, or for instance, in my case, I care for my parents. What kind of conversations should we be having to make sure that they are protected?
I think the most important thing is to let your family and your friends know, and to just remind each other not to keep secrets. If someone tells you not to tell someone else, you definitely need to tell someone else. So let your family know, like, hey, mom, if someone calls you and says you need to take a certain action, I want to talk to you about it. Like, give me a call. Let's talk about it first before you do anything. That is a critical thing for a person who is not being manipulated by the scammer, to hear the story and maybe offer a check, like, hey, that doesn't sound right to me.
Right.
That is a really critical feature.
Jason Jones, Assistant Attorney General at the AG's office. Thank you so much for giving us that important information.
Next time you're checking out at your local grocery or convenience store, take a look around. There's a good chance you'll see a kiosk marked with the letter B with two vertical lines running through it. Looks like the form of a dollar sign. It's the symbol for Bitcoin. And what you're looking at is a Bitcoin ATM. Take a closer look. Is somebody using the machine? Are they on their phone while they're using the machine? Do they seem stressed? If so, they might just be one of the growing number of victims of Bitcoin ATM fraud. These scams, which frequently target elderly Americans, start with a phone call. The criminal calls his target, claims he's from their bank, the IRS, some federal agency. He tells his victim that their bank account has been hacked, or that they are late paying their taxes, and explains that they need to go to their bank immediately and take out money, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. He directs his victim to a local business that hosts a Bitcoin ATM. He might even order them an Uber driver to pick them up. From there, he walks them through step by step how to deposit their money into the machine, how to use it to buy Bitcoin, and how to transfer the Bitcoin to a digital wallet controlled by the criminal himself. In a matter of minutes, the money is gone, lost to the anonymity and irreversibility inherent to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Bitcoin ATM scams like these have exploded in recent years. According to the data released by the Federal Trade Commission, the amount consumers report losing in this form of fraud increased tenfold, nearly tenfold, between 2020 and 2023, from $12 million to $114 million. In the first half of this year alone, victims lost a staggering $65 million. A disproportionate number of these victims were elderly Americans. In 2023, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center received nearly 2,700 Bitcoin ATM fraud complaints from individuals aged 60 and older, more than all other age groups combined. Earlier this summer, the Illinois Times reported that a small business owner in my hometown of Springfield, Illinois, stepped in after he witnessed a Bitcoin ATM in his store repeatedly being used by elderly individuals to deposit large sums of money at the urging of fraudsters. He explained to Illinois Times, 100% of the time that we saw somebody at the machine, they were being scammed. So I was like, this machine has to go. I'm not going to be part of this. He wisely removed the Bitcoin ATM from the store. In Texas, a Good Samaritan called 911 after she, in her words, noticed an elderly lady feeding thousands of dollars into the cryptocurrency machine at the urging of a criminal. She tried to stop the victim from feeding more and more of her money into the machine, but was unsuccessful. Only when the responding officer arrived and intervened did the victim finally understand that she had been scammed. Scenarios like these are playing out all across America. While we should applaud bystanders who step in and stop, or at least limit, the damage caused by these criminals, relying on Good Samaritans is not a solution to this growing problem. That's why I led 6 of my colleagues in sending letters to the 10 largest Bitcoin ATM operators this last September. We wanted to understand what they were doing, if anything, to prevent fraudulent use of their machines. The responses we received were not reassuring. While some safeguards, such as warning screens and ID checks, were employed by all responding companies, other common sense measures like analyzing transactions and digital wallets to identify and stop fraud were not. Other best practices, such as setting maximum transaction sizes, were left to the vagaries of state laws, leaving too many Americans at risk in too many states. It simply isn't good enough. Companies should meet certain specific anti-fraud measures before dropping one of their machines into our communities. That's why I'm going to introduce legislation in the next few weeks that establishes a federal anti-fraud baseline for Bitcoin ATMs. As I start to develop this bill, there are a few things that strike me as absolutely necessary. First, Bitcoin ATMs should have daily transaction limits, particularly for new customers. As these machines are increasingly used to perpetrate fraud, we should limit potential losses. Second, any transaction initiated by a new customer should be held for some reasonable period of time before it's processed. This will allow new customers to cancel their transactions, particularly if they learn that they've been victims of fraud. Minnesota and Connecticut recently passed legislation requiring Bitcoin ATM operators to wait 72 hours before processing a new customer's transaction. It seems like a good place to start. Third, Bitcoin ATM operators should be required to use analytics to screen for fraudulent or otherwise illicit transactions. Many Bitcoin ATM operators already employ this technology. There's no reason it shouldn't be used across the board. Fourth, Bitcoin ATMs should be required to provide transaction receipts that include transaction hashes. This will allow law enforcement to more easily trace the transaction, collect evidence of the crime, maybe even recover stolen funds. These are a few of the pillars this legislation will include. I plan to work with stakeholders to make this best bill possible. That includes state attorneys general and organizations like AARP, who have been real leaders on this issue. It also includes Bitcoin ATM operators. In their responses to my letters, many of these companies offered to work with Congress to craft appropriate regulations for the industry. I hope they will come to the table in good faith. I'm not going to stand idly by while thousands of Americans, particularly elderly Americans, are ripped off in Bitcoin ATM scams. My bill will address this problem before it spirals out of control.
There you have it, YouTube family. I hope you found this information helpful. Please, 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 seniors and everyone else, please do not send anyone any money until you have done your due diligence, you have investigated, and you have confirmed who and why you are sending funds to someone. Do not lose your hard-earned money. Again, this is Alpha Tier Crawford with Finance Up. I hope this video helped at least one person. Again, thanks for the continued support. Until the next video, you guys take care, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye for now.